All right, good evening. Let's call the meeting, the city council, and call to order. City clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Carter,
Present.
Councilmember Allen,
Present.
Councilmember Marroquin,
Present.
Mayor Potem Camarena,
Present.
Mayor Cancho.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Lead us. In saluting the flag of our nation's flag. Hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Marty, will you, if you continue standing, please, we'll do the invocation.
Yes, sir. Should we pray? Once again, our Father, we thank you for your kindness towards us. We live in the best country in the world. We pray for help, Father, in invoking your presence and your wisdom in this place tonight to be able to make the best decisions, Father, for the city of El Centro and our entire community. So we thank you again for the many blessings that we have. We often take for granted that many other people in the world don't have. Help us, we pray, to seek the truth and do what's right. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Aye.
City Attorney, do we have anything to report out in closed session?
No, there are no reportable actions from closed session.
Very good, thank you. So this is public comments. The city council welcomes your input. At this time, members of the public may address the city council on any matter not listed on the posted agenda. Pursuant to the Brown Act, no action will be taken on any issue brought forth under the public comments. We ask that you please complete a speaker slip and submit that to the city clerk prior to the start of the meeting. Although it's not required to identify yourself, this information on the speaker slip assists the mayor that all persons wishing to address the council are recognized, and also assists the city clerk in preparing the city council minutes. Unless the mayor extends your time, there will be a 3-minute time limit for each public presentation. Any information provided on the speaker slip is voluntary and will be public record. We have quite a few requests to speak. And first, we'll start off with Mr. Ramos.
Yeah. Mayor, I think you gave me 5 minutes, so when I'm getting close to it, can you tell me so I can cut off?
I did give you
5 minutes, and you said that, anyway, when I'm getting close to it, let me know so I can stop talking.
yes, sir. And then if you also could maybe just pull that a little away.
Oh. Okay, can you hear me? My name is Tony Ramos. I live here in El Centro. I've been here since 1970, I think. And I'm an Air Force veteran, served my country from 1966 to 1970 in the United States Air Force. My comments right now, I don't come with an attitude of demand, but with open hands. And I encountered some issues with 2 city employees, and I had to file a concern complaint against them. But I'm not going to name which departments or who they are. But my total thing is to take care of this issue. I back up City Manager Sawyer, Chief Brown, and the City Council. And me and the Ramos will do anything to work with them, because sometimes when it does go up to chain of command, they don't allow us to know. And I want to know, Mr. Crankshaw, if you could investigate what happened to a file of mine that I asked one of the secretaries. First, she said she had it, and then they said she don't. But when I talked to her this week, when I told her if she didn't give it to me, then I'd have to go to the city, to Mr. City Manager or the council. And she said I was threatening her. And I said, how can I threaten you when I'm following the procedure of going to the city manager and the city council? She's young, I think, and inexperienced, but she made me feel unwanted. I felt she disrespected me. And when she did that to me, she did that to all other veterans because we're all together. I feel that she needs to get some training in how to deal with the public, especially senior citizens. I also gave you, the council and the mayor and the city manager, a copy of a 5-page letter how nurses were treating me at Centro Regional Medical Center, claiming that there was no beds for me, and the date on that incident is on the letters that I sent to the council. And I one nurse calling me that was a troublemaker, and I said, how can these people deal with patients like me when they could put medicine or whatever else they're doing, which I'm sure they would do it, but they had an attitude and were taking things personal because I've been going back and forth to the hospital since October 12th. I must have been going there 40 times because of bladder issues that I have. I'm not going to go into detail, but sometimes I go at 3 o'clock in the morning, get released, and go back at 10 o'clock in the morning again. But I needed that because as you get older, things don't work right in your body. The other thing I wanted to mention was that certain secretary, that is the secretary which I won't name in public, I called her to get copies of my letters and correspondence from them that the city also had, and she never called me back. I called 7 times and never called me back. She didn't have the courage to call me back. I won't mention her name, but I need the board, I mean the city council, the mayor, and you, Mr. Sawyer, to look into that because this is affecting the way they treat patients. Patients who never have to worry about their health and safety because people take it personal. The other thing is that there's about 1,500 people that work for the Central Regional Medical Center. There's only a handful right now that treated me that way compared to the number they have. It's minuscule, very small. But I'm afraid that sometimes people take it personal. They're not going to do nothing to hurt you. But if they had an attitude, I had one time that the whole shift they didn't come to check me. And when I told them, they scurried right away. To this day, I feel that, the only trouble, and I shouldn't say only trouble, but the only thing, these nurses are so young. And I say that 99.99% of them do their job. But there is that percent that I encountered that are not. It is not a reflection of Central Regional Medical Center or the city council. These things happen. I used to be operational for 35 years and things happen. I almost got written up by my chief because I didn't do something. Luckily, he didn't write me up and I took care of the issue. The other thing, am I almost?
You got about 25 more seconds.
Okay, the other thing is that to date, I don't know whether the PET scan that I took back on May 13, whether I have cancer or not. And my doctor said that even if I did, they could deal with it. But it's hard to deal with something they don't know about. They haven't called me. They haven't the courtesy to call me. Tomorrow, we're bringing my youngest female cousin at 4 or 5 years of age that had died of cancer.
And I appreciate the information that you're passing along, but your time is up at this point. So
Yeah.
thank you.
No, I just wanted to tell you that my cousin died of cancer. We'll bury her tomorrow. So sorry about that.
Sorry to hear about that, sir.
Yeah. I hope I did okay, Mr.
You did fine, Mr. Ramos. You did fine. Thank you.
Thank you for helping me.
Yes, sir. I have a blue slip here, public comments from Kelly Jordan. If you come up. Thank you.
No,
Yes, it's on.
they turned it off.
It's on. Test it. Oh, maybe not.
There
Thank
goes
you
the
so
green
much.
light.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Kelly Jordan. I'm a resident in Imperial, soon to be El Centro, and I'm here asking the city of El Centro to adopt a temporary moratorium on AI data center development until critical public safety questions surrounding battery energy storage systems, or BESS, facilities have been fully addressed. So this request is not about opposing technology. It's about ensuring that public safety infrastructure keeps pace with the scale and complexity of the projects being proposed throughout Imperial County. So hyperscale AI data centers rely on large-scale energy, battery energy storage systems containing thousands of lithium-ion battery cells, and they need to stay cool. And when those cooling systems fail and the batteries fail, they can experience thermal runaway. And that's a chain reaction where excessive heat spreads from one battery cell to another, generating intense heat, toxic gases, explosions, and fires that can burn for days or even weeks. So unlike a conventional structure fire, lithium-ion battery incidents require specialized training, specialized equipment, continuous thermal monitoring, hazmat operations, air quality monitoring, decontamination procedures, and significant water resources that can reach into the millions of gallons. So we've seen this firsthand in San Diego. The Gateway Energy Storage fire in Otay Mesa burned for 17 days, and it required more than 8 million gallons of water, and it involved hazardous conditions and demanded specialized response tactics. Following that incident, San Diego County moved to establish new battery storage safety requirements because the event demonstrated public safety can't be assumed. So since December, I've repeatedly asked questions regarding Imperial County's emergency preparedness for these types of incidents. Has specialized BESS training been completed by all responding agencies? What equipment is available locally? What mutual aid resources have been identified? Have evacuation zones been established? Have emergency response plans been tested through realistic exercises? And to date, many of these questions remain unanswered in the public record. So that should concern all of us, because the consequences of a major battery fire would not stop at jurisdictional boundaries. Smoke plumes, toxic emissions, evacuations, road closures. It puts pressure on all emergency services.
Ms. Jordan,
Uh-huh.
if you want a few more seconds, but
Oh.
your time has expired.
Oh, I'm sorry. So for this reason, I respectfully urge City Council to adopt a temporary moratorium. Because when something goes wrong, the burden doesn't fall on a presentation. It's going to be handled by firefighters standing in toxic smoke for days, law enforcement managing evacuations, and emergency personnel stretched beyond capacity. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Council recognizes and asks, is it Jack or Jackie Tyson? Oh, sorry, Jake. It's hard to see it.
Thank you, Mayor Crinkshaw and City Council. I'm Jake Tyson. I live here in El Centro. I was born and raised here. My parents were too. My 4 grandparents are all buried in this town. So I'm just here to back up what Kelly just said about a moratorium. You know, we see the city of Brawley. We see the city of Imperial. We see the city of Calexico is starting to, they're thinking about adopting it. And we have the city of Calipatria. They are on top. They kind of started this kind of wave, and it makes sense. It just makes sense because it gives everybody a chance to pause and to get your books in order, right? You get to see like what you need to do to protect yourself with these large industrial infrastructures that want to come in because of the land, because of the geothermal available to power this stuff up. But at the same time, where do we sit as a county as far as fire response capacity? Where do we sit as a county that, are we willing to gamble the residents here, the taxpayers here, our livelihoods here for infrastructures like this, for projects like this. And recently everybody knows about what happened recently. I think it was Orange County, or what was the fire, the chemical fire? They had to evacuate like 50,000 people. I mean, that's more people that live in our town here. So where would we go? Where would we go when this stuff goes up and we can't breathe the air? So I'm definitely down for a moratorium. I'm definitely down for you guys to explore that, and give your guys some, some insurance and protection from people that want to come into the city and do something like this, because then you guys are protected against it, and you're able to defend yourself or be prepared, and set your own ordinances. And during that time. So today at the county, it was an absolute knockdown drag out. Okay. They walked into that room and they did not think that they were going to leave there deciding on voting on a moratorium, but they are. So in 2 weeks, the county is going to be voting on a moratorium on June 16th. So that's good news. I think it's surprising to them, but it is good news. And I think it's cohesive for the whole county to get together and think about this stuff. What's more important here? Data centers, that we all have AI anyway. Each one of us have AI in our pockets already, or our livelihoods, our way of life, preserving our water and respecting it. And coming up as the future, as we go into the future, maybe there's new ideas for development of some other kind, instead of something that takes up so many resources to produce, that doesn't produce any, that doesn't have anything to produce for the public. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you so
Tyson.
much.
Appreciate it. Council will call up Gina Smith.
Good evening, Mayor Crankshaw, council members, and members of the community. My name is Gina Brister Snow, and I'm a current resident of Imperial, but I grew up in El Centro, and my parents still live here. Over the last few months, I have watched a proposed hyperscale data center project near Imperial become one of the most controversial land issues this valley has ever faced. What began as a project proposal has evolved into lawsuits, public division, and serious questions about water, power, infrastructure, environmental review, and public safety. And while that project may not be located within the city of El Centro, I believe it would be a mistake to view it as someone else's issue. Because the water comes from the same valley, the power comes from the same valley, and the infrastructure serves the same valley. And the consequences of decisions made in one part of Imperial Valley rarely stay there. That is why I'm here tonight. Because what is happening across Imperial Valley is no longer hypothetical. Over these last few months, this proposed hyperscale data center project on county land near homes and apartments in Imperial have transformed what was once a planning discussion into a regional issue. What began as a developmental proposal evolved into lawsuits, regional controversy, and that growing public distrust. Questions about environmental review, land use compatibility, emergency response, infrastructure capacity, water use, and energy demand did not go away. They've multiplied. And if the last few months has taught us anything, it is that jurisdictional boundaries do not prevent community impacts. The data center project currently at the center of the controversy may sit on unincorporated county land, but it is immediately adjacent to apartments, homes, schools, and families in Imperial and El Centro. Las Brisas apartments, Courtyard apartments, McKinley School, to name a few. The people living near that project site will not experience its impacts differently because a map says they live on one side of a jurisdictional line or another. Communities live with consequences, not jurisdictional boundaries. And whether a data center is proposed in one city or another, the impacts remain regional. The water comes from somewhere, and the consequences are shared by all of us. That is why I'm asking the city of El Centro to begin pursuing an urgency moratorium on data center development. The city shouldn't wait. The city should lead, because cities should establish expectations before developers establish timelines, before applications arrive, before pressure begins, before unanswered questions become someone else's emergency. Because cities should establish expectations before developers establish timelines, before applications arrive, and before the pressure begins, before unanswered questions become someone else's emergency. Calipatria, Brawley, and Imperial have already recognized the need for a pause. It is an opportunity to evaluate whether these align with some of our biggest concerns that we have in the Valley, if they're truly compatible with the long-term interests of the people who live here. Because once a proposal arrives, the conversation changes. The discussion is no longer about policy, it becomes about a project, a timeline, a competing pressures that become far more difficult to navigate. Please act now. In support of your residents, consider sending a letter to the Board of Supervisors in opposition to the data center. Begin the process of adopting an urgency moratorium on data center development today, because once the pressure arrives, it is much harder to write the rules. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Snell. Council will call Sky Ainsworth.
Good evening, Council. Sky Ainsworth here, resident of El Centro, community organizer. A couple things I want to talk about. First thing is from a reliable information source, about 3 weeks, give or take, the fuel prices, they're high now, they're going to be going up even more. So just be forewarned for residents and staff of the city. Main reason why I'm here is to talk about a data center moratorium. Recent weeks, several towns in Imperial County have passed moratoriums on building new data centers in Imperial County. At the federal and state level, new legislation is passing or being worked on to address the public concerns about data centers and their impact on the local environment. I would like to speak in support of a moratorium and to caution against any language that suggests a total ban. I'm a history nerd. I listen to the news, and I have sat through county supervisor and city council meetings since 2007. A ban will make that jurisdiction a target for lawsuits. I urge fiscal responsibility and being careful to word any language about what is being built. Technology is always going to advance. The needs of the consumer will always change. What we do today impacts people today. The hyperscale DC project for Imperial does not make sense for the potential impact on the local electricity and water rates, as well as impacts to the airport and local agricultural industries. Imperial County is a farming community. Our major cities are San Diego and Mexicali. That is who we provide resources to and work with. That is where the jobs and influx to our local economy comes from. I also urge being careful in the legal language, because IBW 569 Electricians Union wants to build technology projects like data centers. And with the risk of fire hazards, you want skilled professionals putting things in right the first time. A major data center in Imperial's Industrial Park is one location with a handful of jobs at different pay scales. If there were smaller data center projects that had no significant impact to water and electricity rates, that did not create problems for the local population, and the technology is advanced and makes sense, then I am all in support. Then that town gets jobs and the rent goes to that jurisdiction. Ultimately, I would like the IBW's legal advisors to help the city legal advisors in how to craft their ordinances and local laws. I feel this will save the city money in the long run, as no outside lawyers will be able to challenge what we do, and will help streamline future construction projects in El Centro and the locals who feel safer about transparency. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ainsworth. City Clerk, do we have any online?
No, none, Mayor.
Okay. And then prior to moving on, I did have a speaker slip by Miguel Vizcarra, I believe is Miguel
That's for
here?
item number 9, Mayor.
I understand,
Oh, okay.
but I wanted to, we are polling number 9, so I didn't want Mr. Vizcarra to be here the entire time if he didn't. So we are pulling that item right now, so we won't be speaking on it tonight. But I didn't want you to have to sit through, if you'd like to, we'd love to have you, but sit through the whole council if you want to. Okay? Yes, sir. Seeing that we have no other public comments, we'll move into the presentation and announcements. And this is an absolute great opportunity to recognize some of our local heroes and talent. You may not think of that as you were going through it, but this is an opportunity for the city of El Centro to recognize the Central Union High School Migrant Debate Team. If I may, what I like to do is, and I love to see these trophies out front, so that's well deserved, is to read from your certificate and then ask each one of you to come up to obtain one. In recognition of outstanding achievement and dedication in earning first place in the Imperial County Office of Education Migrant Speech and Debate Tournament through excellence in communication, determination, and competitive performance. Congratulations on this remarkable accomplishment, inspiring future student leaders. And I say that, I'm sure the council would also, I'm going to give them an opportunity to give their comments, but the city is extremely proud of you. And I don't know any other way to say that. So prior to having you come up, I would like to give the council an opportunity to speak. So Sylvia, if there's something you'd like to add on that?
Yeah, I would just like to say that since I've been on the council, I've had the honor of serving as a judge during some of your speech and debate events. So, so here we are a few years later, and you guys have made it all the way to the top. So congratulations.
Marty?
Yes, again, I can echo that. Congratulations. First place in all of California, isn't that correct? That's pretty impressive. You put us on the map for that. So congratulations. And I'm sure it's a team effort with your coaches and everybody that's prepared you and how many years you've been involved in this, but you're not starting a legacy, you're leaving a legacy, and as well as starting one. So congratulations.
Tony?
I'd like to congratulate you. I followed you through this process. I have a nephew that goes to Centro, and I also graduated from Centro. So I followed you guys through this process, and it was amazing. And I've also served as a judge, and it's phenomenal. And I missed it this year because the city double books. We had our Easter egg extravaganza on that Saturday. So that's why we couldn't be judges this year. And last year as well. So I was like, oh, so yeah, I missed it. I really enjoyed it. Last time I went, it was in Hopeville. So it was really nice. Very congratulations, you guys. Good job. Keep on doing what you're doing.
And just want to share my congratulations to you. I am also a Central graduate. And I actually did speech and debate. Mrs. Owen was my teacher in Kennedy Middle School. And I started there. And some will say I haven't stopped, but that's where it started. So just congratulations. And I know that this is the beginning of a lot of great things to come for each and every one of you. Don't let anything stop you. There's always obstacles, but you can overcome them.
And my thought was to bring you up to the mic, and then I realized I was a little intimidated in the debate that I may have with you. So at this point, I think I'm just going to call your name and congratulate you. So if you could, come on up. Alexa Cervantes. Oh, yeah. And well, actually, if you could, I'll have the next one. How many trophies do you have? 2? Just bring them up. If you could stand by here, Alexa. I'm going to bring up your Christopher Sanchez. Not here. Let's give Christopher Emmanuel Wong. No. I mean,
There you go.
Good, Mike.
Drop it. Cassandra, one. Last but not least, Carla Machado. Thank you very much. We are so proud of all of you, and great job. We'd like to get a photo if you can, so we'll have you guys stand up. Council, come on over.
I'm going to move it to this side.
Oh, yes. Coaches, can we have you come up as well? After you take your photo, of course.
You hold that one.
Aw.
This is the kind I get.
All right, here we go. Thank you. Little bit of video. And thank you very much.
Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Proud of you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. Yeah.
Maybe get some context to it.
Mike,
The coach is
the
going to
coach is
speak.
gonna say. something.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Okay, good evening. There.
Good evening.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. We're super excited, as you can see, on our students' performance. Not only did they represent as well, represented Central Union High School, but also the City of El Centro. We'd had, I believe, teams from all over the state of California. So it was very, very impressive, and it was very challenging to go to the next round and continue their efforts in the preparation. But I also want to acknowledge our coach, Mr. Davila,
Yes.
where we have during Christmas break, weekends, Thanksgiving, you would see the team actually in the classroom instead of hanging out with friends or doing different activities. So it takes a lot of time, dedication, long hours. So I definitely want to acknowledge that from our students and from Mr. Davila as well. And I believe he wants to say a couple words.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Felix. I'm just going to echo what she said. Thank you all for giving us the platform to recognize our students for their hard work. They gave up weekends, holidays, days when students are looking forward to staying at home. They were actually at school practicing, and they did a great job representing not only Imperial County, but City of El Centro, and of course, Central Union High School. So just, thank you for giving us this platform to recognize our students. Thank you to our students. I'm very proud of them. And to all the educators from the Valley who also have contributed to their success, because it's not like, what they did happened in 2 months. It's something that's been worked on for a long time. So thank you.
And then one more thing, also want to announce that we are the first migrant debate team to actually take first in Imperial Valley.
Yeah.
So we're always going to be first.
So I also want to compliment you, because the one thing that teenagers know how to do is argue. And you've taught them to debate. And there is a fine line between those two, and they've learned it and they've taken it to the top. And again, very proud of you folks for doing that.
Yes.
So, very good. Thank you. That is absolutely the best type of things to do up here. So. All right, moving on. We are going to move on to consent agenda items 2 through 4. I would entertain a motion for these items.
I'll move to approve items 2 through 4.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second.
Motion passes 5-0.
Perfect, thank you. All right, very well. Moving on to the public hearing, item number 5, presentation of status of vacancies and recruitment, retention efforts. Dulce from Human Resources. She brought backup.
What's needed? Good evening, Mayor and council members. I think we need to open the public hearing before we.
So you need to explain the item first.
Okay. All right. So we're here to present and to comply with Assembly Bill 2561. We are required to present the status of job vacancies as well as its recruitment and retention efforts at a public hearing at least once per fiscal year. In doing so, we can ensure we are actively responding to community needs by being staffed appropriately. In addition, the bill provides an opportunity to formally review and discuss current vacancies and recruitment retention efforts with the public and employee organizations in a transparent setting.
We have no presentations for your item.
Can you get it from the agenda?
It was in our packet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we pull it up from the agenda?
On the screen, but we're not showing it on the council presentations.
Okay. So,
Able to bring it up.
okay, so
Sorry.
can we log in? We can log in here.
Yes. Oh, you can't switch. I'm sorry. Let me see if we can, let me log it back in. I'm sorry, Dulce, but if it's not on the presentations, we can bring it up.
Okay.
Because it wasn't,
And
it
I
wasn't
can't log
added.
into this one.
No, because we have our meeting going on. Sorry.
Well,
You
if
know,
you're
I was-
okay, we can present
I was
without
able to
the
view,
slideshow.
I'm able to view the presentation here from our packet that's
Okay.
on the.
So what about the public? It's going to be a public hearing, right?
Yeah, this is.
Can we move it, the order, and I can go and send it to you? Okay.
If the mayor's okay with it.
Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll do that. Well, they're saying we can't.
Also, it's online.
Okay.
All
So
good.
what's happening?
It's all good. Am I supposed to talk about the weather right now? And then look over here, everyone. Yeah, you want,
Who's doing that?
There it
There it
goes.
Okay, great. Yay. Okay, let's, so the first two slides basically go over what I just said. So I'm just gonna go into, since I already described the bill, I'll go ahead and talk about a major factor of this requirement that comes with AB 2561. So if the job vacancies within a single bargaining unit meets or exceeds 20% of the total number of authorized full-time positions, the public agency would need to provide additional reporting information for the high vacancy rate. So the good news is that the city of El Centro maintains vacancies below 20% within each bargaining units for its authorized full-time positions. So that's great news. We do have 5 bargaining units, and we will be going over each one and each of the vacancies as well. And all information presented is as of May 26th of this year, okay? So now I'm gonna pass it over to Dora Singh, HR analyst, and Diana Verdugo. They both work in the recruitment area of HR, so they'll be going over the next few slides. Good evening, Mayor and council members. On this slide, I will be reviewing the city's 5 bargaining units and their current vacancy statistics as previously mentioned. The first bargaining unit is the certified water treatment plant operators, certified wastewater treatment plant operators, and certified water distribution operator sewer unit. For purposes of this presentation, I will refer to this group as the water group. The water group has 33 budgeted full-time positions and currently has 1 vacancy, resulting in a vacancy rate of 3.03%. Next, the general employees unit has 126 budgeted full-time positions and 10 vacancies, resulting in a vacancy rate of 7.94%. The Firefighters Association has 36 budgeted full-time positions and currently has no vacancies, resulting in a vacancy rate of 0%. The Police Officers Association, including sergeants and dispatchers, has 59 budgeted full-time positions and 6 vacancies, resulting in a vacancy rate of 10.17%. Finally, the Supervisory, Professional, and Technical Employees Unit has 15 budgeted full-time positions and 1 vacancy, resulting in a vacancy rate of 6.67%. Moving on to the next slide, I will review the status of the current vacancies, beginning with the water group. The water group currently has 1 vacancy for a certified water distribution operator sewer 2 position that is currently in recruitment. Moving on to the general employees unit, as stated before, there are currently 10 vacancies across several classifications. These vacancies include 1 secretarial assistant position currently in background, park maintenance worker 2, permit coordinator 2, senior traffic signal lead, traffic signal technician 2, stepping stones program coordinator, 3 community service officer vacancies, 1 police records clerk 2 vacancy, and all these positions are currently in recruitment.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. The next bargaining unit is the Firefighters Association, which is fully staffed. Next, we move on to the Police Officers Association, including sergeants and police officers. There are 4 vacancies within the police officer position, which is currently in background. And we also have 2 vacancies for the public safety dispatcher position, which 1 vacancy is currently scheduled to be sworn in on June 9th, and the other vacancy for the public safety dispatcher is in background. Finally, we have the Supervisor, Professional, and Technical Employees Unit. We have a civilian supervisor position, which is currently in recruitment. On this slide, we show the seasonal summer staffing. Recruitment occurs in April and onboarding occurs May 5th through June 5th of each year. The seasonal staffing are for our city's community summer programs. For the recreation center youth programs, we hired 32 recreational leaders in 2026. And for the aquatic center, we hired 39 lifeguards in 2026. Now we'll go over our recruitment and retention effort. There was an implementation of the recruitment management system, which is also known as NeoGov or government jobs, to streamline the hiring process. A compensation study was completed and staff salaries are now being adjusted to align with current market rate. An additional recruiter is dedicated to supporting the public safety department. This position was introduced in our 2025 presentation as the pilot program and is included as a budgeted position for this 2026 presentation. 21 temporary positions were converted to full-time regular position roles to enhance operational stability and to ensure the continuity of services. We participated in job fairs to expand the candidate outreach within our community. And lastly, the recruitment and retention incentives were implemented for critical positions.
So this concludes our presentation. Are there any questions? Anything we can answer?
Did you open the hearing?
Pardon?
Did we open a hearing or?
Public
hearing.
Public hearing.
You know, okay, I missed that.
It's a public hearing, it needs to be open.
Open.
That's what I'm saying, if it was
Yeah,
open.
no, Mike
Oh, no,
needs
not
to
yet.
open it.
Opening this public hearing for any comments made. Do we have any online?
No comments online.
Comments from the audience? And close it now? Oh, you want to do
can wait.
comments?
Yeah, I know that a couple of weeks ago, I spoke about the city not implementing veterans preferences. When can we anticipate that being done? Because that's an important part of application status because it provides our veterans with additional points for their service. Where are we at with that?
In LSR was submitted in order for us to ensure that we comply with our current policy, or what we have in our rules and regulation, and the different requirements under the.
So it's pending right now?
It is
Okay.
pending.
Okay, and then when we go back to some of the slides, I just want to make a clarification. I understand it's budgeted positions that you're stating right now, but I would just like to make a clarification that, like, when we say we have, firefighters association with 0 vacancies and the others, water group that has 1 and supervisors 1, that's based on the number of positions that we have budgeted. But would you say that that reflects the number that's necessary with the growth of the city? I know it's a little bit different, but I think a clarification needs to be made because what we've been stating repeatedly is that the number of positions that we have do not accurately reflect what's recommended for the growth of the city at this time. So, and for the past number of years. So what would you state to that?
And that you are correct. We are going through the budget process, and I know there's a few asks from our department heads, and we'll see what the council approves or not.
And do we have any type of study going on right now to show, because I know that my understanding is that the numbers that we have are years old, based on data that's years old. Does Human Resources have anything in the near future or ongoing that we may not be aware of to provide an accurate reflection as to what position numbers we should have as a city?
We don't have that at the moment, but if that's the will of the council, then that's the direction we will take.
Okay. And I think that's all I have for now.
And ladies, can you share with us what are your, what do your recruitment efforts consist of? Is this like in terms of job postings and so on? Just so that the general public will know, where to look for, aside from the NeoGov, the government jobs website.
Oh, aside from that word?
Yeah, aside
Okay.
from that, where else do you post job openings and so on? Just for more information for the community, so that.
So we post them on social media, and we, which would be Facebook, Instagram. We are.
There's person, and we put out information.
That's usually it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't print in any of the local publications, any job openings.
That I know, right?
No.
We used to do Ivy Press and other paper, but we find that just with government jobs, our number of applicants has increased. We used to have 10, 15 applicants, and since the switch, we can see 50, and entry-level positions up to 100 applicants.
Okay, good. Thank you, ladies.
Marty?
So there's no lack of applicants.
No.
Right.
Well, there's a few, like our engineering position.
Yes.
Yes,
If any engineers are listening,
Except
please
for
go
Abraham.
to government jobs and
Yes,
apply.
engineers.
And we've had other ones, like our
Dang.
dispatch at one moment, it was a critical shortage. But for mostly, yeah, we have.
So that's a great question. What do you do in a case like an engineer? What do you do? Anything extra for applicants?
You want to, a little bit about that?
Thank you, Abram. Please.
The moment you ask for help, I'll jump at it.
Ah.
So there's specialized positions, and I know every department has some of them, right? And they're not that many for us. As an example, that engineering position is it requires a civil engineer license and a very specific set of skills and licenses, right, to be able to do it. So to answer your questions, I've been out there. I'm a member of APWA SE. I've done presentations there mentioning the opening. We know all the industry locally, and government job has a great reach. So it's not a matter of reaching this time. In this case, we have over 1,000 hits on just that one position, but really no applicants, or the ones that have submitted we're still reviewing and may or may not qualify. So it goes back to making sure that we're properly compensating for these specialized positions. Entry positions tend to have a lot of applicants, entry-level positions, but when you get into the supervisor management or highly specialized positions, the pool becomes very small. So we need to be able to attract and retain those. So it's not an outreach. I think they're doing a fantastic job with outreach at HR, and I'm very thankful for all they do.
What about the University of Mexicali? Do they get your applications? Do you talk about that?
No, definitely. So actually, a lot of our engineers or entry level start with candidates from Mexicali. They're really good. For the management positions, they require the civil engineer license, and many times the education does not allow them to get that certificate because it has to be accredited to schools, and not many of them from Mexicali are. There's one, but even though it's very, very difficult for those folks to get accredited into engineers and trainings and then a civil engineer license, for example. Not sure if other departments have similar situations, but for entry level and mid-level positions, absolutely fantastic.
How many applicants from the University of Mexicali there compared to this side, United States, for your engineering jobs?
I think right now, I would say at least 2/3 or more for entry-level engineering jobs come from Mexicali degrees.
And so if they get on, they could actually pursue their education.
Up to a point, yes, they can pursue it, but it's very difficult to start from inspector or tech, entry level, and go into a senior principal. So they can get to like assistant engineer with their certifications, but it's certain individuals, they have the option, but few are able to go through that.
They probably need experience as well, right?
I'm sorry?
They probably need experience as well.
It's a different metric. We're pounds, we're imperial system. So passing the exams in the US becomes
Still, it's a great resource to tap into for
absolutely
to get
we get
young
great
people
folks
here.
from Mexicali,
Yes.
absolutely great folks.
Thank you.
So, and I will just add to the fact that the city is at twofold. Right now, obviously, we're looking through our budget system at this time. Then we also are looking on the horizon. And certainly it was alluded to earlier that what we can, survival is not thriving. And so we want to thrive. And sometimes to do so and to bring the city to where we want, obviously, continuous evaluations are being done. One thing that I would like to bring up is how quickly we can get through the process. Because I know that streamlining is always, especially when we're competing, as we are. And most municipalities are competing against other municipalities, and then certainly here in the county. So streamlining is a huge component to this, and so we appreciate all the efforts that you can do. Certainly once we lock into someone, and I think really where you can pick up some pace is, obviously in the background area of it. The recruiting takes what the recruiting takes. Usually it's time restricted. It's got tables to it, but the background is something that I would like, obviously moving forward. That way we can, when we do see these candidates out there, that we can latch onto them before others have that opportunity. So I think it was excellent presentations, even though a little bumpy start with the PowerPoint, but I think we're good.
One more question. Abraham reminded me of it. Could you explain what our process is when we do have foreign education and how it has to be the equivalent of what a U.S. education is here? What does your department do to make sure that they meet those requirements?
If they come with we call it licenciatura, like their BA, they give us a copy of their diploma and their transcripts, and that's the verification that we accept. That's what you were asking, right? How do you
verify that they're, like, let's say there's a position here that requires a master's or a bachelor's, but they have a degree from UABC or CETIS. How does that get translated to ensure that the diploma or the degree that they have is equivalent to one of the U.S.? What system do you use
So
for that?
CETIS is accredited with California, so it's equivalent.
On the electrical, right? Or is every course accredited?
Yes.
And what about
WASC
UABC?
accredited? Yeah.
Okay, so but I'm just saying in general, I said that, but like in general, if they come from
WASC.
Mexico, they come, yeah. I'll give a little brief thing, but we were at UABC last week talking about this. But that's not what they said.
AccuSource checks with CETIS and UABC, so they are able to confirm that information. For high school, usually they bring like a stamped from their transcript stamped with the Department of Education. The Department of Education.
From Mexico?
Yes.
Okay, and then you verify that their high school is the same equivalent as this one?
Yes.
How do you do that? Because you're telling me you're bringing the degree with a stamp.
We just take it.
You just take it?
Yeah, we don't verify the high school. If they have
And the same with the college?
Well, no, AccuSource, which does the background, that one is verified through AccuSource.
Okay, for all schools
Yes.
in all countries?
Yes, but not for the high school. If they have the stamp, the Department of Education, we just take it. We don't verify.
Okay, so AccuSource, just to make sure I understand, if I come from Colombia, because I like going to Colombia. If I come from Colombia and I have my degree, I just have to show it, and then your AccuSource verifies that in Colombia.
Yes, so they give me the information of the school, and I put that information on AccuSource, and then they do the. But if we get somebody from Colombia, let me clarify, then we would probably look into it. I don't think we've had that just yet. Usually they come from Mexicali, here, but we haven't encountered that situation. We would look into that.
Okay.
Well, very good.
I just have to add to that, because I think in this case, it's the applicant's responsibility to ensure that their education from another country meets the requirements here, and they have to then follow through through one of the local universities, colleges, and so on, and then meet with them to go over their transcripts to see what it is that they're still needing in order to equate it to what a U.S. Excuse me, I went blank. A degree is in that specific field, right? Because it really is the applicant's responsibility. It's just like, so, I don't think that an HR department has to go through that, because the applicant, if they want to land a job in the United States, then it's up to them. to concur their educational requirements.
I don't agree with that, but I'll research that because I do agree with the point that you're saying for them to look if they want to continue the education or ensure that it's relevant to the state. I just had a friend go and finish her doctorate in Costa Rica, and she's doing the rest here. She just graduated last week. But when it comes to the recruitment, there is and I have it, I do have it, but I have 2,000 screenshots. So there is a formula that's utilized that individuals, whether in the private or public sector, are able to ensure that that degree meets what is being requested or required by the facility that's doing a recruitment effort. So I'll meet with you. I'll send it to Sawyer and then just to make sure we're doing the right thing. I just want to make sure we're doing the right thing.
Abraham, do you have anything to add? I mean, about equivalence of degrees, foreign countries compared to our degrees, equivalent thereof, how do you determine that?
Well, it goes even from between state and state. A GED and another state is going to be different than California, right? So we don't check levels of it's just whether they have it or not. But for engineering, sometimes like what I can talk about is an engineering aspect of it. And when applying for an engineering exam, and if you want to get a degree, if you have a degree from Mexico, there are some agencies out there that validate the information or the transcript that is submitted. The one that was mentioned is it's an official Mexican Department of Education transcript certifying that this is accurate and correct and is not made up.
Right.
And certifying that these folks have a Mexican high school diploma. So that's what that says.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that translates to a U.S. diploma and from which state, I don't know. But there are agencies out there that perhaps can certify what the equivalence of that is.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a Department of Ed high school from Mexico diploma, high school diploma, it's a high school diploma.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I don't see why they wouldn't accept it. But as it relates to a bachelor's or a master's, that's where it gets more tricky, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now maybe you want to question that a little bit more and ask for an agency to reference. And I have engineers who have gone through this process.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the requirements from the state is, I'm blanking out on the name of the agency that does that certification. Says based on your studies and your degree, this equates to this U.S. degree.
Right.
And but that's more for the bachelor and master level. For high school, I'm not sure if that agency exists or not.
No, I don't think it's for that. I think my thing here about when you're saying about the high school that, we have a lot of individuals locally that have high school diplomas as well. And so I don't know about just taking it like that without verifying that it's the same high school level. So that's all I'm asking about. That's all I have.
Any other comments? Okay, so this item would need to be voted on and approval of report, approving the report of the vacancies. Do I have any?
I move that we accept the report as given.
I will second that, please.
Have a move on second.
Motion passes 5-0.
If I can add, thank you very much. We do invite the reps of each of the bargaining units, and I do want to thank Jose Flores, who's here with the water plant. We do invite him, so he showed up. So I just want to acknowledge him, and also thank you to the staff here that helped me with the presentation. Too loaded.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, stick around. Don't say Abraham might need your help.
I always do.
We're moving on to item number 6, public hearing to consider the approval of the rate increase for the collection, transportation, recycling, processing, and disposal of solid waste for fiscal year 2026, 2027. Abraham Campos, Public Works Director.
All right, good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. We're here tonight for our yearly request to update the rate structure for CRNR. For those have you been, I think everybody at this point has been through this one already. And just as a reminder, the city is proposing this rate increase. It's really a pass-through. It's costs that are establishing through a study and pass through the city charging the bill to the resident. The increased rates complies with a Prop 218 that was done 3 years back. We're still within the 5-year period of that Prop 218 process, and more to come on that shortly. So every year at about March, we receive a request for rate adjustment. That's a contract required submittal. It's probably by CRNR. And what they do is they take a look at certain CPI indexes to determine how much they should raise the rate to residents. And I'll go into that as well a little bit. That study is reviewed by HF&H, which is the consultant that we hired to verify that the math works out throughout the process. CRNR and HF&H go back and forth, and if there's any questions, those get resolved, and then we come here to discuss the item. A public hearing is required by contract to be done prior to approving the rate increase. The public hearing was advertised on May 23rd of 2026, and here we are tonight. So I discussed CPIs. So the contract has a very specific formula to determine an adjustment factor. It takes CPIs for labor, fuel, equipment, insurance, and a tonnage charge, and it has a formula that becomes an adjustment factor. Think about it at your inflation rate for this contract and how that is calculated. By contract, when we renegotiated the contract is capped at 4% maximum per year. So the city council was very wise to say, hey, you know what? We don't want to come up and these CPIs end up being 8-9% and pass a 8-9% rate increase for residents. We want them to be capped at 4%. So for this time, they're actually quite a bit below 4%. So they're at 2.1 for single family residential. For roll-off box services, they're at 2.3. For roll-off box disposal and tonnage, 2.6%. And the Prop 218 for reference was calculated assuming 4% increases throughout the 5-year period. So we're well within those requirements of what the city constituents saw for Prop 218. HF&H has reviewed the rates and agrees with the rates at 2.1, 2.3, and 2.6 respectively. Here's a graphic of Prop 218 with the actual max rates that were established for that period. And what you can see is by this time, Prop 218 actually allowed a rate up to 26.85, and we're under that of 25.56. So we're within the previous approval Prop 218%, which assumed a 4% per year maximum, as shown in the graph. This is just for historic. This is at this point very old. It starts with 2007 and takes us throughout the years, and mainly is just to show the effects of these rates, right? But we have some periods with growth, some years where actually we had no rate increases, and then some. And then at the end, we're starting with these rates as well. So today we're looking at a 53 cents per month, basically proposed rating for residential. Here's the actual schedule with a 2.1% at 53 cents. So it goes from 25 for single, for card service, which includes the refuse, recycling, and green. The current rate is 25.03. The proposed rate is 25.56. I have to make a note that what the rate your bill will show is 25.62, because it includes a few cents for used oil. So residents, as part of this contract, have the option to just call and they'll pick up your used oil for vehicles. So the rate that will be in the bill is 25.62. The same goes down the list. For apartments, 25.62 as well. Depending on the number of units, it varies, and so forth. So commercial, this is a 2.1 increase. 2.1% increase. So that goes from 43.67 for your typical 96 gallon cart to $44.59. So again, just a few cents. And you can basically bring that 2.1% down the table, and it's the same increase across the board and by that percent. For roll-up boxes, there's the proposed rates are shown here. I'm not showing the before and after, but they're a difference of the 2.3% for service charges and 2.6% for tonnage charges. And there's other rates that CRNR has as well for different types of services. Those are 2.1% rate increases as shown in this. So with that, I'm looking to open the public hearing to hear public comments regarding the proposed rate. And after listening to the comments, close the hearing and approve resolution 26- as presented in the screen, approving the rate increase. And I'm here to answer any questions. So with that, before opening the public hearing.
Before I have the council, I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing for public comments on this matter.
I have none online, Mayor.
Okay, seeing that we don't have any, I'm closing the public comment section. And Council Sylvia, would you have any questions for everybody?
I after reviewing all the material that we were provided and Abraham's presentation, I mean, I think the rate proposed by the consulting firm is reasonable. So, and a few cents is just like when it amounts to all the customers that CRNR services will then, bring it up to keep up with the cost of all of the factors that go into picking up our trash. So, thank you.
Marty?
So it looks like for residential customers with the 3 carts, the monthly charge is going to go up about 50 cents.
53 cents.
About 53 cents out of $26. So I'm surprised it's that low because of the price of fuel. They're still diesel. I think when their new plant, they're putting in a natural gas pump to run on gas, when much cleaner and cheaper. But so I'm glad to see this very low increase. Almost negligible. Virtually negligible for residential customers. Yeah.
Okay. Sonny?
The increase starts when? July?
July 1.
July 1st.
So it starts effective July 1. So the first bill is going to be probably in August for the July charge.
Oh, okay. And you mentioned having a meeting with the residents, correct? You did inform them?
No, this is the public hearing. This was advertised in the paper, and anybody would have an issue would have an opportunity to speak tonight. And it's actually not a required by law, I've learned, to have the public hearing, but our contract is very, that the council wanted in that contract to be as transparent and have this public hearing as a contract requirement.
Okay. No, I just remember that you had mentioned before, but yes, I understand. Okay, thank you.
No, but I concur with Sylvia and Marty that 53 cents is necessary, especially with the cost of inflation. So that's good.
So as always, I have a few. But so I understand this is the last year of this contract, or is there one more?
No, there's plenty more years of this contract.
Of this one?
Of the CRNR city agreement?
Yeah.
Yes.
How far does that go out to?
Oh man, it's we came back to council for an extension last year, I believe, and I think it's got to be 5 to 10 years more.
Was it 5 years?
Okay.
It's 5 to 10. I'm blank. I need to get back to you with the exact date.
No, that's fine.
It's got a few more years.
I don't think I was on the council yet on that, and so I didn't recall that. I do recall as a consumer seeing that the prior to that extension, that these rates were already called out, that this was the increments that could happen with the caps that were set. Going back to one of your slides where you had the the 20-year period. And then, as you mentioned, some of the time did not have an increase. Were we in the same type of contractual agreements with whoever the provider was at that time? Very
Yes.
similar to that, or?
Yeah, so it's been since 2007. It has been CRNR. And at those years, I think it was during the recession, and I don't recall the specifics of that. I was not part of that as well. Maybe we have folks from CRNR here present tonight, might be able to answer that, but I recall it was related to recession and basically inflation, those factors actually going down to zero.
Yeah, I was just wondering if they the contractual were the agreements. And then moving on, when we do re-up with, and this is CRNR, but do we go out, it's competitive bid process at the?
When we do go out, it is a competitive bid process. It's a huge undertaking because of the type of infrastructure and it's just swapping everything out. We are good for a number of years from now.
Sure.
That was part of an agreement with CRNR, as that they are also co-locating their main facility here, and you've seen it on Ross
Correct.
Avenue. So we have a number of years to start.
Yeah, no, I'm always in support of that type of process. So, and we do appreciate the service. So didn't want to mix those two, but all right, very good. And you're looking for approval of this resolution?
Yes, so it's.
That's your recommendation?
That is correct. After closing the public hearing, I think it was already closed. So looking for approval of resolution of the City Council of the State of Central, California, resigning resolution 2542 and increasing rates for integrated waste management services for the collection, transportation, recycling, processing, and disposal of solid waste for fiscal year 2026.
Could you say
I'll give a motion.
Just based on that, she's doing a motion.
I'm gonna do a motion.
You have a motion?
I'll second.
You have a second?
He gave us a whole lot.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Because you're a fast reader.
Yes. With no tongue twisters. He did
Thank you,
that.
guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, moving into new business. Item number 7, memorandum of understanding for Firefighters Association. Human Resource Director, Dulce.
Hello again. So here before you is the Firefighters Association MOU. To give you a little bit of background, the current MOU expired December 31st, 2025. So we met and conferred and on revised terms and conditions to the current MOU and have reached an agreement. The modified terms and conditions agreed to in a tentative agreement are being presented to you for final approval. Major changes are as follows. 1.5-year agreement. There's an elimination of step 6 in lieu of longevity based on years of service. So upon completion of 10 years, the employee will receive a 3% increase based on top of their base pay. And then 15 years completion, it'll be a 6%. At 20 years, 9%, and 25 years, 12%, and that will be the max. That's where it capped. There was also an increase for the paramedic incentive. It went from 9.5% to 12%. And the bilingual pay was increased from $40 per payroll to $50 per payroll. And there's also a 2% COLA effective January 1st, 2026, and another 2% July 1st, 2026. And with that said, I'm looking for approval and adoption of the new resolution, unless anybody has any questions.
Sony? Sylvia?
No.
Marty?
No, we're anxious to,
Get this passed.
yes, we're anxious to
2 more
to
coming
make
up
this happen.
soon.
Yes.
Marty?
Same.
But I just had one clarifying on your longevity. It was not in a 6% increase to every 5 years. It would be in total
Correct.
for.
So it's not 3 and then they'll get another
Correct.
6.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to clarify.
Yes, that
And
is
then
correct.
the other thing is the clarification of the short period of time is trying to align all of the bargaining groups moving forward. So that's why the purpose of the 1.5 year contract.
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Can I get a motion to adopt resolution for the city council to, am I on that one? Yeah, to establish a term and condition,
Yes.
including the compensation for this?
I move that
I'll
we
motion-
adopt, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll make a motion to adopt the memorandum of understanding for firefighters association.
A second, Pat?
Why you didn't say the whole thing?
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Thank you, Dulce. Item number 8, summary of proposal received for fair housing services. Presentation, Adriana Nava, Community Services Director.
Hello, Honorable Mayor and Council. The item before you is a fair housing agreement. And so to give a little bit of context, the City of El Centro received CDBG funding. For this next year, it'll be $507,676. And you may recall that a couple of months ago, you allocated $25,000 for fair housing services. And so this is one of our CDBG requirements to provide fair housing services. This allows us to provide referrals, and usually we work with local nonprofits to inform them of this service when they have landlord disputes, issues regarding if they have somebody with disabilities in their family and somebody doesn't want to rent an apartment to them, those types of disputes. A lot of the times it's just a lack of education problem. So we have contracted in the past with Inland Fair Housing. We did an RFP, request for proposals for services, and we did receive 3 proposals: Inland Fair Housing and Mediation Board, Fair Housing Foundation, and CSA San Diego County. After a review of the proposals that were received, Fair Housing Foundation is the recommended firm. They are a nonprofit. They are not from the Valley. None of the firms are from the Valley. We used to have this service in the Valley, but during COVID times, they all left Imperial County. And so I think COVID has done some great things, but one of them is the ability to do things via Zoom, and so a lot of remote assistance. And in reviewing proposals, we also learned that 91% of the assistance is provided via telephone. Usually it's a phone call for service. So this firm serves 27 cities across Orange and LA County. Many of the cities that they serve look similar to our demographics. And so in total, there's if you review the request for proposals, there's different tasks that we ask the provider to provide. So processing of housing inquiries, complaint, investigation, and referral. And many times there's just grievances that they help mediate. And fair housing counseling and complaint intake. In addition to that, education and outreach on fair housing. And then lastly, reporting. We do use that reporting in our CAPER. You may recall when we provided the CAPER to the council, we share with you how many people have been assisted and their background. So with that said, we are recommending a resolution of the City Council approving an agreement with Fair Housing Foundation to provide fair housing services to our city.
Sylvia, do you have any questions?
I don't.
Marty?
So you're saying it was the Inland Fair Housing
Yes.
Board that's no longer local?
Yes, they are now in Riverside County.
Okay, but they were.
They were local at one point. They used to be on 8th Street
Yeah.
and they left during COVID. And we have seen a diminished service from them in terms of just the number of people served, the level of outreach, the level of service has been reduced. And so this is why we're recommending a different firm at this time.
And the Fair Housing Foundation is
Yes.
local.
They are not a
They're not
local
local,
company.
but-
They are out of LA in Orange County. Many of the communities in those regions are very similar to ours. And as mentioned, most of the service that's completed is completed remotely or via telephone. And we are confident they're going to be able to deliver a superior service in El Centro.
Great.
As it relates to the term of the agreement, if they aren't doing well, it is a 1-year agreement with 2 additional 1-year extensions for a total of 3 years, and then we go out in RFP again.
I have spoke with some people who have utilized this and they say that the Zoom, the phone calls, it works. They receive their information fast and everything does go accordingly. So I have received good reports about it.
Thank you.
So looking for a motion to accept this resolution as written.
I would like to motion to enter into the agreement with, I can't remember the agency name, but for fair housing services.
I second.
Motion passes 5-0.
Very good. So as mentioned before, item number 9 was pulled from the agenda. So we'll move on to item number 10. PD project, Arlington Watkins Architects, contract amendment, Abraham Campos, Public Works Director, City Engineer.
Hi, good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members again. Before I go into that, just a quick update on the police station. It's almost done. Hopefully this month. Oh, there we go. Like they ran away. No, it's we've been told by June 24th, so it's the latest date. It's down from July 1 date. We're crossing our fingers that does happen and materialize. With that in mind, that is still a few more months than originally anticipated. And that's why we're here tonight. As part of the design and the construction, the designer, Arlington Watkins Architects, has to review submittals, wish material submittals, attend meetings, be on site, do inspections. They actually walked the site with us today for bunch list items and for building B as we're getting close to completion. This scope is above their programmed time of engagement. And the additional time to be engaged on this project has resulted in a need to do a cost increase in the amount of $88,940, which raises them to a total contract of $2,962,698. So what I'm looking for tonight is for an approval to do a contract amendment number 12 to increase the amount of the contract by that $88,940. And it is, as I mentioned, to add time for their engagement, not only for themselves, but as well for their subconsultants, for example, LSW engineers, who is their mechanical, and Kitchell, who is another sub that's doing the CASP review, which is an ADA additional review. So that is the reason of this request increase. We are hoping and that this is the very last one because this takes us all the way to the end of construction. So we just need to get finished with construction. With that, I'll take any questions regarding this cost.
Sonia?
No questions.
Sylvia?
No, I don't have any questions.
Marty?
So Abraham, you're recommending that we approve the 88,940?
I am.
Instead of going after the contractor to try to force them into, making good on what the discrepancies, can you talk to that?
There's This request is purely related on contract administration, not any dispute. There's no active dispute with architect at this point.
Can you explain that a little more? Speak up.
There's no dispute with architect.
So the discrepancy is the
On time.
88,000?
It's time related. So the architect bid a project to be constructed in 18 months, and then the contract was administratively extended without adding funding to 24 months. So the architect believed that they could make it work under the original amount for the full 24 months. As we got closer, it turned out that's not possible because there was additional engagements, time spent by the consultant. There was a CASP inspection added. There's a mechanical item, so construction related time that the architect needed to be there. And that's why this request is for additional time funding for them to be able to deliver the full 24 months.
Anything else about this 88,000, the funding? I mean, Measure P or
So this is
something
purely
set
fund.
aside already?
Yeah, so this is actually not a budget ask request for the council. This is just an amendment. This all fits in within previous approved budget amount for the project. So this is not a funding request.
Thank you.
This fits within the project budget.
I just want you to explain that to everybody that's going to be listening, later on of why are we doing this? Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm like Marty. I don't have any questions for this type of, I will say that I think it's interesting that they want to be finished when we have our first week of 100 degrees coming. So, but I can certainly understand their desire there. So I have no questions. With that, I will make a motion to accept the amendment number 12, the agreement as written.
I'll second.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Very good. All right, moving on to task force and council reports. And Sonia?
Okay. I want to apologize to Abraham and his team because this is the first year I missed the Public Works Expo. I had a doctor's appointment in San Diego. I was like, oh, but I did think about you guys, sent good vibes that way. I hope everything was okay. The Rain on Main was very successful. Thank you to the staff. That was very, very, very successful. A lot of students I see at a lot of out different places, they stopped me. I took my grandson just the other day walking the side of the park, and I had so many kids run up there and just tell me that was so cool for the fire truck to be out there with water, and we had so much fun and free ice cream. They talked about it really good, so it was very nice. So just to let the staff know, the community is excited about it. And the Memorial Day ceremony, excellent turnout. Every year it grows. Every year the Memorial Day ceremony grows. It was an excellent turnout. Very nice event. Mayor Pro Tem and I went on a tour in Mexicali. I'm going to let her talk about that. And budget meeting for ICTC, we're also doing that as well. So we've had several meetings and our regular meetings. So we have a lot of meetings that are going on with ICTC right now, trying to get our budget and different things pushed. And Mayor Pro Tem, we did at our last meeting, they did say by December, our new shelters should be installed. So, yes, our bus shelters, yes. So just to let you know, and I did miss the annual Derby Day because I was in San Diego at a doctor's appointment. So I'm upset about that one. This is the first year I missed that one as well too. And we did have the Black Wall Street 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Amazing and very entertaining. Thank you to the city for your donation. And this concludes my announcements.
Sylvia?
So let's see, I did get a chance to stop by and visit the Public Works Expo, so I don't know if I liked it here or the library better. I'm not sure, so it's like, but I know I had just missed a group of kids that came through, so, but you were lucky that the weather was still decent that day. So, kudos to you and all of the Public Works team for displaying what it is that they do for our residents of the city. And I know that day we were also scheduled to have our Community Enhancement Task Force meeting, but we'll reschedule that. I didn't want to interfere with your event, and I know because you always have so much to contribute to our task force, so let's see, our annual Memorial Day ceremony with the Vietnam veterans at Buckland Park. And so, next year we'll have the other side completed of the wall. So we'll, looking forward to that and the ceremonies that are coming up for Veterans Day. And let's see, Catholic Charities invited us to a tour of their day center facility. So we were out there last Thursday morning and met with some of the staff that came down from San Diego to host us during the tour. So it's had a conversation about not only their facility but the Working Hands program, and some of the staff there shared with us. And while we were there, quite a few individuals came in and they said they service at least anywhere from 90 to 100 individuals per day. So our place is very busy. And, so it's like I'm working on a limited staff, so I've got to give them, credit for all they do for our unsheltered residents of El Centro. And unfortunately, the Kentucky Derby, that is put on by the Kiwanis Club each year, I was not able to attend for the first time in quite a while. So I had some other family obligations and I missed it. So I'm a little bummed about that one, but, and that concludes my report. So.
Very good. Thank you. Marty?
Yes, so I was also able to attend the Public Works showcase here at the city, and the young people that were able to come. And I'm trying to try and work with Frank to be able to invite some older kids and hopefully get him involved in maybe some other job fairs to help, recruit people for the city of El Centro that a lot of people would fit in really well. And then on the 21st, I had a great opportunity. I'm on the Disaster Preparedness Committee. And so there was a disaster preparedness event on the 21st that was pretty much valley-wide, sponsored by the county. And I got to hang out with Eddie Aunza and learn a lot and see firsthand what all of that looked like. And there was, I have a list really quick, just to give you an idea. Just some of the participants: Pioneers Hospital, El Centro Regional, Intercare, Cal OES, Riverside County EMD, American Medical Response, Reach Air, Mercy Air, Brawley Fire Department, El Centro Fire Department, Imperial County Fire Department, and Office of Emergency Services, and IBC EMT program, to mention a few. So it was a very big event. There were scenarios going on at Pioneers and Brawley at the same time. There were events going on, mock events going on here in El Centro at the hospital, which for us was what is it? I had those, it's, what do you call it? Poisoning, Eddie? Say it again. Organophosphate, thank you. Organophosphate poisoning, which means people got sprayed by a crop duster. And so we had some volunteers from IBC to pretend that they were like poisoned and meet at the hospital and go through all of that. And so it's great to see what you have for resources, what you don't have for resources, the things you do know and the things that you don't know. It brought up we saw a lot of gaps, but we saw, again, how we work all together as a county. And so there's some key points in this particular scenario that, need to be worked out. but it's great to have these things way ahead of, a real emergency when you know who you're talking to and what you're supposed to do. So I really appreciate, kudos to the El Centro Fire being involved in that. It was a great, great experience. Really appreciate that. And then we had our ice cream social the next day, and that was very well attended, and was able to serve some ice cream up there. And then the Memorial Day, Monday, the 25th, I was able to attend the Evergreen Cemetery Memorial Day service that is also every year. And the local Boy Scouts they put out over 1,000 flags at veterans' grave sites there at Evergreen. And they always miss a few because, they don't have a 100% database. They're always working on it. But over 1,000 flags that they put out there. So it's a very significant, meaningful Memorial Day, I should say. Veterans Day is in November. Memorial Day was this May. And that is to remember the folks that gave their lives for our freedoms and prosperity. And it's very significant that we celebrate that, as well as the one that happened at Buckland Park that we were part of also. So I'm very thankful for those things happening, and for the community people that get involved in that, so that we don't forget those important things. Then Councilmember Camarena and myself were able to go to the Imperial Valley Economic Development Corp presentation and meal dinner at the Stockman Club in Brawley. And there are people from foreign countries that look at what we have: space, infrastructure, water, and power. And they're wanting to invest, also including lithium, as well as the potential for, geothermal as well as lithium. And so they're wanting to invest a lot of money here. But there's some issues, environmentalists that use the CEQA is to stop these projects and chase them away. It's very, very discouraging for developers to come in and want to do something, significant here and get stopped by environmentalists. So that needs to be fixed. But at the same time, there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation, both being spread about data centers. And I just want to clear up a few things quickly. That whoever controls or is ahead in the aerospace industry and the AI industry is actually going to be leading the world in power. And they're taking first position. We are in competition with China for that. And because we are ahead now, the market around the world is, we deal in dollars largely. And it's a huge economic benefit for our country. And unless we want to ask communist China permission to turn on their air conditioners, we should maintain that leading position. And so that's why AI is such an important investment, because that is what keeps us ahead. And these issues that come up, like the environmental, water, power, all those are the main issues. All of those can be mitigated in our situation here in our county. Now, in some places they cannot be if you use groundwater. That's a whole different story. It's probably not a great idea. But here, all of our industrial water use compared to our agriculture, all of it, the municipalities, the cities, golf resorts, whatever it is, all of that water, besides agriculture, industrial water, amounts to about 2% of the water that we receive. So it is not a water problem for us at all. It's the equivalent of this mega center would only be the equivalent of a 160-acre field of alfalfa, one field out of thousands and thousands and thousands that we have here in the county. So I just want to make that clear. It's not an issue. And the power is the new mantra for the power is BYOP, bring your own power. So it's not a burden on the ratepayers. So as well as these issues about, we've heard about battery storage and fires, and those really are old technology, and we've learned from every one of those. And those, if you were to do follow-ups with those fires will never happen again because of what we've learned from those fires. So they really aren't that relevant to us. I'm just putting it all out there that I want to make sure there's answers. You can find the answers to all of these issues. They're out there. Don't be discouraged. I don't think personally that just my personal opinion, we don't need, the El Centro City needs a moratorium, but the county is considering guidelines. And they have about, I think it's maybe 12 guidelines. We should be doing the same, looking at their guidelines, adopting them, their common sense guidelines, instead of being bullied this way or bullied that way. We should have guidelines that are already set up that, when someone, comes in with a reasonable request, we have reasonable asks. And there could be all of these issues can be easily mitigated and beneficial for our entire community instead of being the poorest county in the country. So I just want to say that really clearly. So I think that was, maybe there was one more. I think, I was at the Ducky Derby, and that was well attended as well. We thank the Kiwanis for putting that on and trying to raise funds for the Aquatic Center. So thank God for them and all that they do as well for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Claudia?
Okay, just want to share, I'll go quick because a lot of it's duplicated, so I'll just read a little. Also attended the tour at Catholic Charities, and then stayed afterwards and spoke with the executive individuals that were there about night shelters. They have a concern about people that are out on the street and so forth, and they actually have one or a couple of successful night shelters that they operate. So I did send an email out requesting that we have a tour to see if that's something that we can collaborate on here in the city. Councilmember Carter and I with staff had our homeless and downtown ad hoc meeting. We had a lot of spirited conversations, and we're waiting for that to be completed, a second meeting to be scheduled, but we are listening to concerns from the public and looking at ways that we can address them. Sat in on 2 Zoom meetings, one with Assemblyman Jeff Gonzalez and Mayor Crankshaw and City Manager Sawyer, with updates from the assemblyman and so forth. I know we got good news for our hospital, received a grant. And the second was with the California Consulting Agency, also with City Manager Sawyer, looking at ways that we can expand our applications for grants for the city. Right now, one of the priorities I know the council shares is for grants related to our extreme heat. And that is something that we're looking at right now. And I believe we have a meeting coming up on that because there are a few that are available, but we have a crunch deadline and hoping we can get something in there. Strongly are encouraged and believe that hopefully we can get something that would assist, especially our youth and seniors, with some indoor activity, and hopefully we can get something through that. With the Rain on Main, everyone enjoyed it. My grandchildren enjoyed that. But I was encouraged to see a different group this time. The other times I walked through, I see, of course, there were the families with children, but there were a lot of couples I saw with no children, older my age, and just saying, we just wanted to check it out. We hadn't checked it out, and we wanted to just come see it. And they enjoyed it, and they were really excited because they remember back when they had it. And so I also want to thank the staff. It was a great success for that. Public Work Expo, I just enjoy seeing the staff there. I got in trouble because apparently my granddaughter came through when I was in the other building, and but she was so excited. She enjoyed it. She came with her school, and they were really happy about that. It was my first time attending the Evergreen Memorial Service. It was very touching, more so as Councilmember Allett stated, the Boy Scouts that were there, and to see them so attentive and learning and just having that Americana pride instilled in them to respect those that gave their lives for our country and those that continue to fight. And so that was very exciting to see. And I'm going to correct something I said last time. I reported twice that I had went to Imperial Beach, even though I have. What I was supposed to report was that I went to the Navy base on behalf of the city. So I went to the Navy base, and we presented that plaque to them. And I hope I didn't report that twice, but here I got corrected many times after that. And last but not least, Councilmember Carter and I did take a trip into Mexicali, a full day trip. We were standing in front of Hotel del Norte by 7:45 in the morning, and we're able to come back. I think we crossed back at 4. And very interesting, just looking right now at ways that we can expand services from one side to the other, and hopefully be able to bring just some more collaborative work. We have another appointment scheduled for June 11th, tentatively right now. And we'll be going over there. We're taking Angel with me, security. And we're looking forward to that as well. And I think that's all I have. Thank you, everyone.
Mr. Mayor, if I just.
Sure.
One brief little mention. I think we've all neglected to all make sure that everyone knows that the El Centro Regional Medical Center has announced that it's going to receive an $11 million grant from the state of California. Only 4 grants given out in all of California, and this was the largest. So I would just ask everyone to continue to pray that this might be the miracle we've been praying for to help complete this transition into IVHD. Keep that in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Well, I'll start off by what I did attend, which was the Kentucky Derby. I spent all day looking for a hat that I could wear, and apparently I couldn't find one. Last year I went, my grandchild picked the winning horse, so it was pretty awesome then, and to see his face. I did have the honor to be with all of council to be at the Veteran Memorial Services and ceremony. And I took the time to meet with several before the event and then after the event. And I did have a chance to speak with Adriana about a couple change orders that was brought up. And I don't know if that's something on the that is doable or we can do, but we're certainly take a look at. It was just the design change, but they're extremely appreciative with how large this is getting and its popularity, and then working in concert with the event that they have out at the cemetery. So that was really good. And then Mario, if I could have you come on up for the mayor's mentions.
All right.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, City of El Centro staff, and members of the public. We'd like to share a few upcoming events taking place in the City of El Centro. The City of El Centro invites residents to attend 6th and Main Street Market Days on Thursday, June 11th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. in downtown El Centro. This will be the final Market Days event of the current season and offers an opportunity to explore local vendors, discover unique products, services, support small business, and enjoy an evening in the heart of the city's historic downtown district. The El Centro Aquatic Center invites the community to the Summer Pool Kickoff Party on Friday, June the 12th from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Admission is free, and attendees are encouraged to bring their swimsuits, towels, and friends for an evening of poolside fun, food vendors, giveaways, and community activities. The featured movie, SpongeBob Search for SquarePants, will begin at sunset. The El Centro Aquatic Center also invites the community to celebrate Independence Day at the 4th of July block party on Saturday, July 4th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. The event will feature the Park Avenue Street Fair, a DJ, foam party, a cannonball contest, cabana rentals, and more. As is tradition, the mayor will also participate in the cannonball contest.
What's the foam party?
I'm sorry?
What's the foam party?
I will let Adriana answer that one.
I think
Yeah, I'm curious.
Foam party.
Don't worry, there won't be any alcohol. So we are buying a foam machine, and
Oh,
we're
really?
gonna have like a good old fashioned foam party for the kids. We're
Oh.
bringing back something that a lot of people enjoy. We have checked water chemistry, everything. This is something Rebecca came up with. She no longer clubs, but maybe she's bringing the club. But we think it'll be a lot of fun. We're
Yeah.
excited about it. It's not your average foam machine. It's a commercial size one.
Oh.
So it
That-
should be
that
fun.
sounds
We're
cool.
excited about it.
Yeah.
You know, something different.
I was really curious about that. I go, what's a foam party? You know,
It's the kind that you think.
yeah, okay, all right.
And Rosarito.
And of course, good luck to the mayor on the cannonball contest.
Rosarito.
Yes, can't wait.
You know, I don't
Wow.
think I have the frame to actually do a good cannonball.
Mike.
I think that foam party will have to have alcohol if I'm going to do that.
Last but not least, the Aquatic Center is also seeking vendors interested in participating in this community event. Food vendors have until June 16th at noon to apply, while non-food vendors have until June 29 at noon to apply. And finally, additional information can be found on the City of El Centro social media pages, and residents can also sign up to the city's free mass notification system to receive important alerts directly to their phone or email. Thank you. Good luck to you, Mayor.
Yes. I will say that we have some of the best flyers out there. Those are pretty awesome. So, all right. Well, that's a wrap on that part. And now the city manager's report.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council, members of the public. So during the week, the last several weeks, I've attended numerous meetings, and Councilmember Camarena and with others were called out, so I'm not going to repeat that. The mayor and I have had an opportunity a couple times now to visit the I-8 corridor to check on the transient encampments to ensure that that's cleaned up. There's one area on private property that I'll be working with code enforcement on to ensure that gets cleaned up timely. I know that's on the radar. I'm just going to make sure that we get the compliance from the property owner there. Also visited the residential area being built south of 4th Street by Mr. Coyne, and that development's coming up relatively quick and looking very promising as it moves forward. I attended the Public Works open house. I will tell you, it was pretty amazing. I think the kids took all of the hard hats and toys and everything within the first couple minutes from Mr. Reed's booth, and a lot of things going on. But what really impressed me was the wastewater treatment, really a micro lab that they had that shows the treatment process as waste comes into the system, how it's treated and then purified and put back out. So Abraham, I have to tell you that your people are definitely number one in the number two business.
Oh my gosh.
It was just an excellent display. They were able to answer all the questions. Really kudos to them. It's an interesting line of work there. So never seen it put out that manner, and they made it very, very easy to understand. The fire department recently handled the structure fire, unfortunately, in the area of 6th and Hamilton. Chief and Battalion Chief, kudos to your people. It was handled very timely. I think it came in right when I was leaving work around 6:30. It was extinguished within 20-something minutes. At least the major flames were knocked down pretty quick. When I left, it looked like the skies were on fire. Everything was black, and within about 20-30 minutes, you could see the smoke had cleared up. That means that they've put the wet stuff on the red stuff and took care of business in a very prudent manner. I know they were out there for many hours overnight to make sure the site was safe, keeping the families that were affected in our thoughts and prayers there. Finance has been instrumental in the last several weeks, dealing with numbers for negotiations and the budget process. Liz has been put to the test many times and has stepped up every single time and gotten me the information that myself or the negotiators or Dulce or the council needs within a matter of minutes, almost every single time. So kudos to finance and the hard work they're doing. And then lastly, I'll close with a little bit of a story. Last Friday, I would love to tell you that I was in bed, but about 10:30 at night, I was surprised by an incident that occurred right outside of my residence. And I'm sitting at my desk, I'm doing some work at the house, and I hear a car end up screeching to a stop, and I'm hearing sirens in the distance. And shortly thereafter, I see red and blue lights flashing in my driveway. And our police officers have been called to a reckless driver, ended up being a stolen vehicle, got into a vehicle pursuit that ended in my driveway, ended up with the driver jumping my fence.
Wow.
And I exited the house. I didn't know which agency was involved. I exited the house with my hands up. Hey, the car doesn't belong here. Quickly recognized that it was El Centro PD. And, I stepped away. The law enforcement side wanted to be involved. The homeowner side wanted to be involved in a different way, different type of justice there. And I have to give kudos to Sergeant Miguel Garrido and his crew that night. The sergeant stepped in, did exactly what we want every one of our supervisors to do, really controlled the scene, directed everything in a manner that was very professional, very safe for the officers, very safe for the residents. My neighborhood's relatively boring for the most part, so we had like 20 people out there with cameras, and everyone wanted to know what's going on. I had to assure my neighbors I wasn't involved. But ultimately, it led to the arrest of a young juvenile individual who was responsible for this, again, in my backyard. But our police department did a wonderful job, and thank you, Chief, for checking on me. No, I was not involved, and yes, I was safe, so thank you for that. And with that, I can go on and on about the hard work and the efforts of each department here, but I'll end the night with that. So thank you very much.
So we'll wait to see you on Cops.
Probably more on one of the social media channels that I won't mention the name here, but there is videos floating around about the incident, yes.
Yeah, and that just, we say it all the time for our staff, and you are our success. You really are, man.
Yes.
It's not just what it shouldn't be, and I know it's heartfelt that we get to talk to the community, and the community kind of converses with us, and then certainly with you guys. You guys have much more contact, but collectively, it's the same thing. And staff will make or break a municipality, and it's making us. So thank you.
I forgot one
Sure,
thing, super
sure.
quick. I just wanted to, I left out also about the IVDC dinner, and I wanted to thank Adriana and her staff. They
Yes.
invited us, one, and to make sure we were there, but two, the conversation at the table with them was really enlightening. So please thank your staff. I really enjoyed it and learned a lot. And so I appreciated that time. It's difficult for us to have that one-on-one time. So having that one-on-one time made a big difference. So thank you.
With that being said, that will conclude this meeting, 8:09.